Maayong adlaw, ¿cómo está? This is Ben from Ben and Cebu coming to you from Gabi, Cordoba. And as you can see, the sun is setting and it's just a nice, cooler time to go out. And out here in Gabi, they have this big long boardwalk. Goes for many kilometers. And it's a nice place to bring little Rugrat back there so he can avoid, all the rocks and stones that are in the neighborhood because it's not very paved. So we like to come here and let him run around, get his exercise, and kind of wear him out for the evening so that he'll fall asleep sooner and quicker. So this morning I was watching a live stream, and the topic was budgets, and everybody was amazed because this guy was talking about how he lives off of $450 a month. And to me, I didn't really think that it was that big of a deal. Like I figured we'd already hashed that all out by this point. But unfortunately, the mentality of most is that you have to have, a higher dollar amount than you really have to have. And if you're not having that amount, then you're totally shortchanging. So I don't feel like, we're living like bums. I mean, I've made videos like that. I'm a bum in the Philippines because, that's the perception of the majority of expats is, if you're not, living, high on the hog and spending 2K plus or, 1.5 plus, you're slumming it. And, of course, there are a lot of things that we can't do and we don't do. One of the main kind of points is the guy says he can't have a girlfriend because the girlfriend, would take way too much more of his budget. And let's face facts, he's getting $1,030 a month, and he's only supposedly spending $450. And, I say supposedly, I'm not trying to say he's not or he's being deceptive or anything. I have no idea. Seems like a nice guy. But, if you followed me in the past and you're following me now, I've shown in mega detail how we make it on very little and we want for nothing, right? I mean, the comment section there was just, patting each other on the back. Yeah, there's no way you can have a girlfriend when your budget's only $450. Well, okay, maybe. But if you made $600 a month or $500 a month, you definitely could. I've done it, for 2 years I did it, with that amount of money. And my asawa was perfectly content. And, they're saying, well, you're not going to find a girl and she's going to be so rare if she lives on such a paltry amount. Well, yeah, where are you cherry picking your girls from? There are girls in the Philippines still to this day that don't know where their next meal is coming from, that they've never even been in, a department store, for example, because of the shame of not having money to buy it, and they feel inadequate. There's a lot of that. And, when people get into their little bubble of their existence, they tend to forget, just how rough of a struggle it is to live here as Filipino, right? Because they're not Filipino and they've got a surplus and an excess amount of money that enables them to live, far above anyone who's walking around them. And they don't realize that there are girls that would love to live on $600 a month. And they would be totally fine waking up every day and not worrying about where their next meal is going to come from. That's the reality. Listen to me. That is the reality. And there are millions and millions and millions of girls that you could find that are in that scenario, that situation. So, hey, bro. So when people say it's impossible, it's not impossible. It's not. You're just living in your own little bubble. you don't know how to navigate like a local. My apartment is $75 a month. My electricity is $1,200 to $1,005. We don't buy in the grocery stores because they're a ripoff. We buy in the markets except for our meat. Well, I do buy my ground beef at the grocery store because that's my splurge. It's 420 pesos a kilo, and I stretch that kilo out. But I buy my chicken in a little butcher shop that's always refrigerated and always frozen, and I won't buy my meats except for fish in the wet markets. And you know, you can do that, and guys just tend to forget, or they don't even know that you know, there are girls here right now who are dreaming that they could have $450 a month, and they know that it would be completely doable and a luxury for them to have that amount of a budget. So to me, it's just kind of, I don't know, I thought that the budget thing was just a tired subject, but listening and watching all these people just go gaga over this guy who's living on $450, but can't have a girlfriend, which, you know, that's the glaring issue that I took, is he can't have a girlfriend. You definitely can. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous to me. There are millions and millions of girls here that are longing to have such a budget and could make that budget work and would be absolutely happy and content doing it and living that way. So, you know, when you're over there in the States and you're thinking, if you watch that kind of stuff, that's what I don't like. People watch that kind of stuff and then they walk away thinking they've gleaned knowledge that's the only way that it'll work is the way that they said it would work. And it puts people in the wrong frame of mind, and it puts people in the wrong perspective, because it is possible, and you can have a partner, and you can do very, very well and change your life. You're sitting at home, you watch that kind of crap, and you go, oh, darn it, I guess I can't do it. And that's just not the truth. Just because somebody, you know, come on there and said, oh, you can't have a girlfriend because, you know, tampons cost, you know, $25 or whatever a month, and makeup and blah, 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 you know, it's just not true. Things are cheap here. If the girl is able to go and buy, you know, oftentimes, you know, you go to the mall and there's stuff on sale for, you know, a rack of shirts, different styles, colors, everything for, you know, 40 pesos each, brand new. And on that amount of money, you can budget that in. That's your splurge, you know. Buy her, you know, 8 shirts. It's not going to break your bank, even if your budget's $500 a month. So you're sitting home, you're watching this stuff, and you're going, oh, I guess I can't do it. But don't listen to that, because you can. And just because most people don't know how, there are a lot of people that do know how. And if you watch my videos, I can show you how. If you pay attention to what I have to say, I can tell you how. I'm living it. You're at home, you're miserable, you're lonely, you have no one, you have nothing positive going for you, and you're wishing that you could have, you know, what these vloggers have, but you don't think you have enough money. Subscribe to me, and I will show you how you can do it. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate, you know, all the engagements, the comments, and all the engagement, comments, and subscriptions. And I'm serious. Follow me. If this is the kind of content that resonates with people, which it seems like it does, because there were hundreds of people on there just going, wow, 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 and having, you know, massive amounts of comments. Follow me, and I will show you how you can do it. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a blessed day or night.